Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. This is Ralph Phillips, and today we're going to try and figure out, will Tom Brady be able to throw the deep ball in Bruce Arians' system? Look at this. This is a bomb. 53 yards in the air, right in the hands of his receiver for a touchdown. Boom! Question answered. Video done. Now the rest of this video is going to be nothing but cat pictures. But wait. There's a problem here. This is Brady throwing a bomb, his longest pass of the regular season, in week 1. Now, Tom Brady is an old man in football years. Him throwing a bomb in week 1 is not conclusive. It might actually be a bad sign that his longest completed pass of the regular season was in the first week. I mean, he's a professional football player. Of course he can throw the ball deep in week 1. Hell, even Drew Brees can do that. Before we dive any further, I want to get two things out of the way. First, I'm just going to go ahead and say that Winston wins the deep ball tournament for 2019. I mean, the numbers are just there. Winston was the league leader in total passing yards and yards per game. I simply cannot deny that Winston was balling.
You look at my numbers, I'm balling.
Lee, I was of the opinion that Tom Brady would never come to the Bucs because I believed he would not fit well within Arian's system. And we've all watched Tom Brady play for the past 20 years. We've seen him dinking and dunking, the check downs, the passes to running backs, the quick throws over the middle. I've never seen Brady as a big, deep pass thrower with a big arm that likes to take a lot of chances. No risk it, no biscuit is not how I would describe Tom Brady. Him coming to the Buccaneers was not something that I expected, but now that he has, I want to figure out, can he play an Arian system? I mean, throwing the deep ball a quarter of the time? Comparing Winston and Brady in 2019, Jameis Winston threw the ball 626 times. Tom Brady threw the ball 613 times in 2019. Both of them had a completion percentage rate of about 61%. So we know that Brady can keep up at the same pace of throwing it. But Winston threw the ball deep 152 times during the 2019 regular season, while Brady only threw it 99 times deep. That's a big difference. There was not a big difference in completion rate, though, because they both sat at about 43% completion rate for the deep ball. Yet, 24% of Winston's passes were deep passes, while only 16% of Brady's were deep. Since we know that Brady can throw the ball just as many times as Winston, we now have to ask, can Tom Brady throw the deep ball consistently all season long? If you look at the numbers, they would suggest that the answer is no. In the last 3 games of the regular season, Winston threw it deep 36 times, while Brady only threw it deep 12 times. That's a huge difference. But as usual, the numbers do not tell the whole story. I mean, Brady played against crappy teams and with the lead during the last 3 games, while Winston played against good teams and from behind. Hell, the Patriots never lost the lead until week 5 in 2019 and had the lead the whole time in half their games. That will skew how many times a quarterback will throw the ball deep. I mean, there's no sense in throwing the ball deep when you're beating the Cincinnati Bengals like redheaded stepchildren by 17 points going into the fourth quarter. The Patriots had much easier opponents during 2019 than the Buccaneers did. The Patriots played with the lead to a much greater extent than the Buccaneers did in 2019 as well. Both of those factors would dictate less deep ball passes needed for the Patriots. And how in the world can you compare the two quarterbacks to see if Brady can throw an Arian system? Well, first you need to find a common opponent that did not suck that both teams played in 2019. Both the Patriots and the Buccaneers had to fight this team hard and not rely on having a lead. Preferably, we would like to have an opponent that Brady played deep into the season so we could see if his arm would hold up on the deep pass. Well, I found this team. It was the Tennessee Titans. Now, this was almost the perfect game for analysis to compare the two teams and quarterbacks. The Buccaneers played the Titans in Week 8 with an advantage of the Buccaneers coming off a bye week, but a disadvantage of having to play at the Titans Stadium. The Patriots played the Titans in Week 18, the wild card round of the playoffs, which is very deep into the season. The Patriots had an advantage of playing at home, though. And neither team gained a substantial lead over the Titans and actually had to fight to come from behind. Both teams lost on an interception. I mean, you cannot ask for things to align perfectly, but this is about as perfect as a comparison as you can get. I broke down every single designed pass play and looked at how many deep routes each team implemented. Now, I did not care at all about the result of the play, whether it turned into a sack, a scramble, an interception, etc., etc. I wanted to see if, as I suspected, the Buccaneers ran more plays with receivers going deep than the Patriots. What I found kind of shocked me. The Buccaneers and the Patriots ran almost exactly the same amount of deep pass plays as a percentage of total plays. They had almost the exact same amount of receivers going deep over the course of the game. Both quarterbacks attempted deep pass attempts at about the same rate as well. And both quarterbacks had issues with their receivers running bad routes and or dropping the ball. Now, these similarities was not something I expected to see. So then I had to break it down to how many deep receivers per play, how many deep pass attempts, how many check down receivers, etc. I mean, almost everything was similar except one area. 2 deep and 3 deep receiver routes. During this game, both teams ran pass plays with 0 deep receivers at the same rate. They also ran 4 deep receivers at the same rate. Neither team had a play design with 5 deep receivers, so that didn't count. The 2 deep and 3 deep receivers were done at the same rate too, except reversed. The Patriots ran 2 deep receivers with 2 to 3 underneath receivers about 30% of the time, while the Buccaneers did this less than 20% of the time. The Buccaneers, however, ran 3 deep receivers with 1 to 2 underneath routes about 30% of the time, while the Patriots did this less than 20%. That was the only somewhat significant discrepancy in the deep ball between the two teams that I could find against the same Titans defense. Even on Brady's longest pass of the season against the Steelers, you can see, this is week 1, you can see it as a 2 deep receiver route with 3 receivers running shorter routes. So we know that Tom Brady can throw just as much as Winston during the season. And according to the Titans game, Brady will attempt to throw deep just as much as Winston when the opponent is tough. We also know that the Patriot system had more check down opportunities and fewer 3 deep routes. So the system was a part of Brady not having as many deep balls as Winston did in the 2019. Now the question remains, can Brady actually throw it deep late in the season? The first pass I saw with Brady throwing deep against the Titans did not look good. Here he has the opportunity for a touchdown and ends up throwing it short. His receiver was wide open and had an open field in front of him for a touchdown if he had thrown that ball right. But Brady does not get the oomph on the ball needed, causing the receiver to have to come back to the ball. Now that does not bode well for Brady being able to throw it deep late in the season. But there's something to consider here. Brady ran outside of the pocket on this play. Brady rarely does this. Winston was very, very good outside the pocket and would have definitely made this throw for a touchdown. Well, either that or he would have thrown an interception. Then there was this play. An absolute laser going over 15 yards down the field. in an extremely tight coverage. And this is a big boy play. It shows a great arm, great accuracy, and great anticipation. This was great coverage too, but it's impossible to cover a perfect pass, and that's what this was, man. So that gives us a check in the positive column for Brady being able to throw it deep late in the season. But here is the play that made me change my mind completely. In the fourth quarter of Week 18, we get to witness a top-level elite play from Brady. He chunks this ball over 50 yards in the air right into the arms of his receiver. The pass ends up being incomplete, but not at all due to Brady. I mean, you cannot get more perfect than this. First, he does an excellent job on the play fake, then turns around and heaves a perfect pass with pressure barreling down on him. He throws this ball 50, 60 yards down the field with perfect accuracy, totally ignoring the hit he is getting ready to take. That is why he is the GOAT. Can Brady throw the ball deep late in the season? This play answers that question with a resounding yes. That is a 294-year-old man in football years throwing a perfect bomb 60 yards in the air in the fourth quarter of Week 18 in the playoffs while getting ready to get clobbered by a man who means him harm. That's impressive, to say the least. So to sum it up, there is no doubt in my mind that Brady can throw the deep ball consistently all season long. We know he can throw just as many passes as Winston during the season. We also know that Brady can throw the long ball deep into the playoffs, well past the regular season. As an old man in football terms, it does not seem like it is affecting his deep ball performance at all. And now we know that the Patriots scheme had more 2 deep receiver routes than the Bucs, while the Bucs had more 3 deep receiver routes, thereby giving the Bucs quarterback more options to go deep and Brady more options to check down. There are other factors as well, such as Brady dumping the ball off when pressure comes while Winston will scramble. The Buccaneers playing from behind more than the Patriots, which increases the long ball attempts for the Bucs. Winston having receivers that can win the 50-50 balls, making it more likely that he'll throw the ball up for grabs more often than Brady did. I mean, Brady did not have those type of receivers. What all this tells me more than anything is that they are very, very close in the deep ball. Put Brady in the Arian system, and you're going to come out with similar numbers compared to Winston. Is Brady going to put up 5,000 plus yards in 2020? It's definitely possible. I mean, we have to remember that this is not unfamiliar territory for Brady. He threw for 5,235 yards in 2011, which was more than what Winston threw for in 2019. And Brady had Wes Welker, Rob Gronkowski, and Aaron Hernandez to throw to. Brady has eclipsed 4,800 yards 3 times in his career and had over 4,000 yards last year with that ragtag group of receivers. And he's done all of that without the monster receiving core the Buccaneers have in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Now throw in Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, and now Rob Gronkowski. Man, it is not beyond the realm of reality that Brady could not only beat Winston's record from 2019, but he could actually beat his own record from 2011. I think he's going to try and shoot for it. So while I'm giving Winston the win on the deep ball for 2019, I am very confident in saying that Brady is not going to have any issues whatsoever keeping up with the deep ball in Bruce Arians' system. Rest of the league needs to watch out.